when Tom Sowell speaks, I listen. I've been listening to Tom Sowell for 30 some years now, and he's one of the smartest economists I've ever met. He's really fearful that it may take hold here. What do you think?
Two things. First, let's define socialism. Technically, it's government ownership of the means of production. That's obviously terrible. You find that in Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea. But a lot of people nowadays, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Bernie Sanders, they define socialism just as a giant, ever-growing welfare state. But regardless of which way you define it, especially when you factor in demographic changes, fewer children living longer, the long-run fiscal consequences, Thomas Sowell is right. I mean, we are heading toward the most predictable disaster in human history, and it's happening because politicians and some voters think it's perfectly fine to live today at the expense of tomorrow.
How long do you think it's going to take, Dan, for that to happen?
Well, look what's already happened in Greece. And as miserable as Greece, their experience was, imagine how much worse it would have been without all the bailout money coming from the European Central Bank, the IMF, et cetera, et cetera. Well, once the fiscal crisis hits Italy and then France and Japan and sooner or later the United States, because we're all on this same trajectory, there's no bailout entity big enough to bail us out. And then you're looking at, as Thomas Sowell said, really horrific scenarios of what happens. It's almost like, the fiscal version of Hunger Games or something like that.